So we are going to talk about OSI layer. The OSI model, the OSI model is a 7-layer model that we use in data networking to provide us with some modularity and some interoperability. If we take a look at the diagram here, you will notice that this is a 7-layer model, and typically we start out down at the bottom layer, calling it the physical layer or layer 1. Right above that we have the data link layer, that is called layer 2 as well. Above that is the network layer or layer 3, that is called network layer or layer 3. We then have the transport layer, we call that layer 4, and then we have a session layer above that we call the layer 5. That's followed by the presentation layer sitting right above the layer. So we have and then we have a sixth layer that is called presentation layer, and then we have application layer up the top, and that is layer 7. That is the model that was developed in the early 80s, and around that time networking was started to grow rapidly. New technologies were being introduced. There were a lot going on in those days. Around the mid 80s, companies started to experience certain issues that as they expanded, and what they were finding is that when you had different networking vendors and had their own model, it was very hard to get the different vendor to interoperate with one another. In order to address this problem of interoperability, the ISO, which is the International Standard Organization, created this OSI model. And again, the intention was that it would give us a set of standard here and provide us interoperability, some compatibility, some modularity. One thing about OSI model is that if you develop something that operates at the data link layer, you can be a specialist in the data link layer. You can understand all ins and out of that layer, and you don't need to understand the detail of other layer. All you need to know is how to get them to communicate with the layer above and the layer below. Now that what happened is this reference model here, the OSI model is operate our networking function into multiple players, and we can use that as we troubleshoot. Each of these players going to provide services to the layer above. So for example, if I have an application, and I have an application that wants to send some traffic on the internet, is going to use the application layer to pass that data down the OSI model before it gets to the wire. As that data is passed down through each layer, services provided to upper layer. Now again, this simplifies the implementation of a networking function and provide a lot of interoperability. Now there are other networking models that exist today. However, most people are going to develop and focus on the OSI model again, because people want to have interoperability these days. So see you in next lecture. That will be also OSI model, OSI layers. So we will talk more in details. Thank you.